parsha bahar ha'mechukaisai are parshas of Yovel, and it's the preparation to Shavuos, because Yovel is Shavuos, just like in the years, you count 6 years on the 7th is Shemitah, and then you count Shemitahs like Shabbos, V'shav Sarat Shabbos Hashem, and then you count 7 Shemitahs, and the following year is Yovel. The 50th year is Yovel. So the same thing, we count 6 days, on the 7th one is Shabbos. Today, actually, being that it's the 7th day, of the Sphira, we complete a week. It's like a Shabbos, and the Torah calls it Sheva Shabbos Tmimos. Count 7 Shabbosim. After 7 Shabbosim, the following day is the 50th day, and there's 2 ways of looking at it. It's the 50th day, and it's the first day of the 8th week. 8, as we already once talked about this, 8 is Lamalam, higher than the Teva, because the world was created in 7 days. 8 is already above that. So the 8th week is Kodesh. It's Yovel. So therefore Shavuos, even though it's only 1 day, but it's really 7 days. The entire week, the 8th week, is Shavuos. And there's a special halacha about Shavuos, that the Kabbalah Chagiga that you have to bring for Yom Tov, if you didn't bring it the first day Shavuos, and of course in Yerushalayim there's only 1 day Shavuos, if you didn't bring it the first day Shavuos, you can bring it the entire week. There's 7 days of Hashlama, including the first day, the 8th week. So the Torah says, and the 8th week is Yovel. Yovel means to return to the roots. About Yuval, you have this week's Haftarah, about Yuval Yeshalach Sharashav. The Shirash goes back to the Yuval, to the wellspring, to the roots. Yovel is returning to the roots. Eved worked for 6 years, and Shabbos wanted to release him. He didn't catch the opportunity. He didn't want Shabbos to release him. He didn't want Shemitah to release him. He said, I don't want that the Shana Shviyas should emancipate me. But when Yovel comes, he goes out. And he returns to his mishpacha. And fields return to their original owner. And it's Yovel. Yovel means coming back to the roots. And on Shavuos, a Yid comes back to his roots. And the 7 weeks of Sphira, we cleanse ourselves, we purify ourselves, the Tareinu, the Kadeshenu, and on Shavuos we come back to the Rabbeinu Shalom, to the roots. So the Torah Kedusha says, there's going to be a guy that he will become affluent, who have means, who have money, and your brother, a Yid, will be poor, and is sold as an Eved to a guy, only Eikel Mishpachas Gaya, more than that yet, Eikel Mishpachas Gaya. So Rashi says, Eikel means the Avodah Zarah. He was sold to be a shamus by the Avodah Zarah. A Yid, he works in the church. He was sold as a slave, and he has to work in the church and be the sexton, whatever it's called, the shamus in the church. So, Rashi says, Mishpachas ger zo akum. Kishu imali eiker zanim kal avodah zara atzma. He sold to the avodah zara itself. Lias la shamish. He should serve in the church. Not that he should worship. He's not allowed. He's supposed to be meis nefesh for that. But in other words, he does the service for the church, which is a very, very big fall. It's a hashpala, very low. He serves the avodah zarah. So achrei nimka geula tiyaloi. After he's sold, he should have geula. Echad meyachav yigalanu. One of his brothers should redeem him. I daida, ven daida yigalanu, or misheya psarai, or a relative, mishpachta yigalanu, or lisiga yadai. If he manages to make his own money, perhaps he wins the lottery, I don't know. And then he goes out. So Taisvis, Masechta Gedushin, brings the Gemara there talks about this Yid who sold to the guy the Eikel. So Taisvis brings a medrash. Why is it called Eikel? Shesayfei le'akel. The ultimately the saif of the avodah zarah will be shetei akel. It would be ripped out, akira, to be ripped out. It would be destroyed. Saf ko saf, a time will come when the avodah zarah will be destroyed. The avodah zarah will be abolished from Eretz Yisrael and from the world. Saifei le'akel. It will be ripped out. Now, this is Parshas Bahar, the end of Vayikra. In Chumash, we have come across many times Avodah Zarah, and it's called in all kinds of different names, Elohim Acheirim or Elohim Neicher, but it never is called Eikel, which means the Avodah Zarah will ultimately be abolished, be ripped out. Here, for the first time and the last time, the avodah zarah is called Eiker, to be ripped out. Why did the Torah wait until the end of the Sefer Vayikra to tell us that the avodah zarah is going to be ripped out? And why here? These weeks, when we prepare for Shavuos, which is Yovel, Shavuos is Olam Haba. It means a world above the 7 days, above this physical world. Shavuos is Olam Haba. Shavuos is heavenly. Something happened on Shavuos in the physical sense, and it repeats itself every Shavuos in the Ruchniyazdika sense. Vayayired Elokim al Har Sinai. The Rebbeinu Shalom came down, and like Chazal say, Achen Hashem Shmaya. The Rebbeinu Shalom pulled down the heavens. The heavens came down upon earth. Ki mei Hashemayim al ha'aretz. The heaven was upon earth. In other words, Shavuos is Olam Haba. Yidden were b'Shemayim. We didn't go up to the Shemayim. The Shemayim came down to us. Vayered Hashem Har Sinai. And this happens every Shavuos. But in Pnimius, we don't feel it. The big tzaddikim, they do feel it. There were big tzaddikim that they were able to show their Talmidim. It was by the sons of Rav and by the daughters of Rav, big tzaddikim from several generations ago, that when they learned the Aseres HaDibros on Shavuos, the Talmidim actually heard the Kailei Subrakim, and they re-witnessed Matan Torah. This happens every Shavuos. Our neshama knows it, but our guf doesn't feel it. But a Yid has a muna, and he knows that by Shavuos, when you learn the Kriya, you actually experience Matan Torah over again, and everybody gets his chaylik in the Torah then. So preparing for Shavuos, which is Olam Haba, which is heaven, which is Yemei HaShamayim Ala Oretz, so we say in these weeks, Kol Yisrael Yesh Lem Chaylik L'Olam Haba. We learn Pirkei Avos, and we prepare for Olam Haba. Actually, the meaning of learning Pirkei Avos is for the 6 weeks, the 7 weeks between Pesach and Shavuos. And then a minig came to be that after Shavuos you also learn Pirkei Avos in many places. But the Ikar minig is only in the Yemei Sfira. So the Ramban says, Yoivel is Olam Haba, Ve'yula L'Shalach Sherasav. Here we are dealing with a Yid. The Gemara says, why was he sold as an Eved? He was dealing with Peirah Shviyas. You're not allowed to deal with Peirah Shviyas. Not allowed to do any schayla with it. It's supposed to be Hefka. He dealt with Peirah Shviyas. Because of that, the Gemara says, Rashi brings it, he went from Aveira to an Aveira, and he was sold as an Eved. He didn't do tshuva. He had to sell his daughter. He sold himself. And he actually was reduced to a low madrega of not being in the family of Klal Yisrael. He's not in the family of Klal Yisrael anymore. He's a low madrega, he's an Eved. He's mutar b'shifcha. He's allowed to have children from a shifcha. And these children are avadim. They're not in Yichus Yisrael. Kedushin is not typhus in a shifcha knainis. And a Yid is not allowed to marry a shifcha knainis. If he does, he's over alav and he gets malchus, because he was over alayiyah kadesh b'vnei Yisrael. It's a bias is an us. But a Neved is mutar b'shifcha. He lost his madrega of Kedushas Yisrael and his mutar in the shifcha, which is a big, big fall, a big nefila, a big shiftless. And he was, the Torah says, ki avadayhem, Yid na may avadim, but he sold himself to a guy. First to a Yid and even worse to a guy. And why? Because he did schayra with Peirah Shviyas. And because he was Mechalei of the Kedusha Shviyas, he violated the Kedusha of Shviyas. Because of that, he felt such a madrega that Shviyas doesn't help him. Ubashana Shviyas Yaitzel Achav Shechinam, but he doesn't want to grab on to this rope of Shviyas, which is thrown to him in the yam of Avdus, and it doesn't want to be released from this matter. He dealt with Peirah Shviyas. So therefore, he loses his shaychus with Shabbos. And when Shabbos comes, the Shviyas comes, he doesn't feel the Kedusha of Shabbos. A pure Yid, when Shabbos comes, is very elevated. A pure Yid that that keeps Torah and mitzvahs and doesn't do Aveirus, when Shabbos comes, he experiences such a kedusha of Shabbos, it's such a feeling, you can't put it down in writing. It's being a hasalus, it's an experience of having a very close relationship with the Rabbeinu Shalom. But when somebody is mechalel his kedusha, when Shabbos comes, he doesn't feel it. I have had Bachim complain to me that Shabbos is the worst day in the week. They can't take it. There's nothing. They can't do anything, and they're bound. They are imprisoned, and towards the end of the day, they just stand by the window and waiting for 3 stars to come out. It's a big rachmanis on such people. They don't feel the kedusha of Shabbos because they didn't behave accordingly in the entire 6 days. So they're not zeicha to the Shabbos. So this Yid wasn't zeicha to Shabbos, and he doesn't want to be meshuchur, he doesn't want to be emancipated with the shviyas. So he says, but there is a nekuda in every Yid that doesn't get lost. We spoke about it. When Yovel comes, that nekuda flares up. And Yovel pulls him out. And B'shavta Misha, and he goes away, and he must say goodbye to the Shifcha. And he goes back to his mishpacha. The Torah was given in 40 days. And that created the Jewish mishpacha. Mishpacha Seichem, that's the golem in the midbar. So he lost the mile of the 40 days. So the mem of the word mishpacha falls away, and he has shivcha. He's mutter b'shivcha. But that when Yovel comes, v'shavta mishal chuzasei, he goes back to his field, v'yishal mishpachtei teshuvu, and he goes back to the family of Klal Yisrael. Not anymore shivcha, but mishpacha. A community, a society that has the 40 days of Matan Torah, which culminates with Yovel, the 50th, the 40 madregas of Matan Torah, which culminates with Yovel, the 50th day. So this Yid was sold not only as an Eved, and not only to a Yid, he was sold to a Goy. And not only to a Goy, he was sold to the Avodah Zarah. That's too much. When a Yid falls so low, his neshama is so dead that he can tolerate being sold to the Avodah Zarah, the Rabbeinu Shalom gets angry. He's my child. And he gets angry at the Avodah Zarah. Why did you swallow up my child? He's a Yiddish ken. He has Yiddish neshama. He's a descendant of Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. He's mine. Ki avadayhem. So the Rabbeinu Shalom starts like, as if we would say, starts banging on the table. Eis gerissen werden soll die Avodah Zarah. The Avodah Zarah should be abolished and destroyed. I'm getting back my Yid. So in the entire Chumash till now, when we were learning about Avodah Zarah, the Torah didn't tell us that the Avodah Zarah will be ripped out. But when this Yid is sold to the Avodah Zarah, it'll be ripped out. The Rabbeinu Shalom protests. No, he won't stay there. I'm going to get him out. I'm going to redeem him. Yovel is going to take him out. He's going to have a geula. There was one bracha in Shemona Esrei which deals with the Avodah Zarah. That's the bracha of V'lamoshinim. V'lamoshinim al-tisek. Chaminim k'chega yavedu. That's the Ayv the Avodah Zarah. V'chayvi amcha meya k'reisu. U'malchus arisha. That's the correct nusach. Anything else in your siddur is censored. The correct nusach is a malchus arisha meheirasi akel. You're going to rip it out. Akel is going to be ripped out. That's the bracha of Lamoshinim, which they added to the 18 brachas, and it became the 19th bracha. Because in the times of Rabbi Gamaliel, so it was after the Churban, and Christianity took root. And there were many Yidden that Nebuch fell to Christianity, which is Avodah Zarah. So then, Rabbi Gamaliel was masakin the 19th bracha, the bracha of Lamoshinim. Malchus the Risha Me'eres the Aker, or the Eker Mishpachas Ger, should be ripped out. Why? Because Ki Li B'nai Yisrael, Yidden belong to me. Li B'nai Yisrael Avadim, the Torah says right afterwards. Li B'nai Yisrael is Rosh Hashanah's Yovel. The Yovel must take them out. They're going to go out. In the beginning of the Sedra, the Balaturim tells us an interesting fact, that in the Sedra Bahar, there are 19 times the word Geula. 19 times you have the word Geula. That is the shayrish of the word Geula, Gimel Aleph Lamed. It comes in different forms. Either the word Geula, or Yigalenu, or Venigal, or the Indian, the word Geula, the three Isius of Geula, are 19 times connected the 19 berachas of Shemoneh Esrei. That's what the Balaturim tells us. Now, we are very curious, so let's trace these 19 times and see where each word Geula, they say it's a shirish of Geula, corresponds to its bracha in Shemoneh Esrei. So, if you would count, starting from the beginning of the Sedra, how many times the word Geula comes, how many times the word Geula appears, you will find that here, v'chisasik yad ger v'say shavimach, oy le'eka mishpachas geya, achre nimka Geula tiyalai. The Torah announces she must have a Geula. This, according to my fingers who did the walking and the counting, so this word Geula, achre nimka Geula tiyalai, is the 12th bracha. It corresponds the 12th time Geula in the Sedra, which is mechuven to the 12th bracha, which is the 12th bracha.
London, right? Alpha Trafalgar Square.
So being that we're dealing with the Valamalshinim, and he is so to Eika, so the bracha of Valamalshinim is a Malchus Rishon Me'eres Yakel. You should rip it out. The 12th bracha. Let's go further. Nimka Geula Tiyalai, which Oleika Mishpachas Geach Nimka Geula Tiyalai, which is Te'akel. Echad Me'yechav Yigalenu. This word Yigalenu is the 13th time Geula in the Sedra. Echad Me'yechav Yigalenu. He should have a Yid that to have Rachmanas and a tzaddik, a rebbe, a mentor, a big brother, somebody who outreaches to him. So isolating. This person who does it is a tzaddik. The 13th time Geula Echad Me'echav Yigalenu is mechuven to the bracha b'al tzaddikim. We're dealing Echad Me'echav. The tzaddik takes them out. Because what can be so much a Yeshua to a Yid who fell like his chabras to a tzaddik? Who should do it? I ven Yigalenu. So this is the 14th time. The Balaturim here mentions Chasavav, the Balaturim says. It's Isius ben David. Ben Daidai, the Isius ben David. Mashiach will come. Very interestingly, When Daida Yegelenu is the 14th bracha, the 14th geula, that's connected the bracha from the Yerushalayim Mercha. V'kisi David Avdacha Me'ele Seicha Tochen. That's Mashiach. Oy Mashiach Psarim and Mishpachtay Yegelenu. Al Kapanim, this Yigalanu is again connected to David, as Tzemach David Avdacha, this Matzmiach Keren Yeshua. So actually, this week, we're Zaycha to a Sedre, which is a Shmanescha. The Sedre in itself is a Shmanescha. The Sedre is Mispalo for Klal Yisrael that we should have a Geula. Because we're already approaching 2 weeks before Shavuos. We're finished with the bulk of Sfira. Sfira is divided in 3 parts. Kayadua, that anything that's divided in 3 parts, the first third belongs to what's previous. The second third is the center, and the last third that goes for what goes after, like it's loved. So, if you would divide the Maya Sphira in 3 parts, Sphira 2 parts end with Lag Ba'ayma. And then starts another 17 days to Matan Torah. The third, we're approaching, and really, the sphere is for all practical purposes finished already. Last week we spoke about the Midas that we are masakin in the Meya Sphere. The Yikar Midas are Chesed, Gvurat, Teferes, Netzach, and Hoid. And Hoid is the end of the sphere. And especially when the Hoid Shebahait comes, that's the end of the sphere already. So that's why we're finished with the sphere. And our stone rolls off our hearts, and we have a Yom of Simcha, like Ba'aymo. Yesod and Malchus is really a polishing up. The sphere ends with Hoid, the Sfar Magdashim say. Yesod is the Klalius. It's like revisiting the sphere. Malchus is Klalius, Sheba Klalius, another revisiting. Like, you're polishing up. But with like Ba'ayma, Hoid Shebahait, we finished the sphere. So now, we are already preparing for Shavuos. Shavuos is the day of Yovel, the 50th day. On Shavuos, we learn Rus. Rus was a Geyeris. But there's a big cloud that any Geyer who is Megayer himself L'Shem Shemayim, he is not a Gayish Neshama that is turned into a Yiddish. There's no such thing. Originally, it's a Yiddish Neshama. Chidot talks about it, or the Svarim, the Aushich talks about it. It's originally a Yiddish Neshama. It says Hashava Mizay Mayav. She came back from the field of Mayav. She came back to Eretz Yisrael from the field of Mayav. She didn't come back. She was never in Eretz Yisrael before. How could she come back? The Terech says, the Alshich says, she does come back. She belongs to Eretz Yisrael. She's a Yiddish Neshama. Sometimes, because of certain plannings that Rabbeinu Shalom has, a Gayish Neshama is
gets itself found among the Yid. But it's a Gayish Neshama. That Yid won't enjoy Yiddishkeit at all. He won't take it. Safka Safka Shmad himself Layaleinu. And sometimes the Yiddish Neshama finds himself among the Goyim. It's born by a Goyim. But it's a Yiddish Neshama. That Neshama, as we know of many such cases, especially today, has no menucha. It can't take its environment. It goes searching for the emes. Like Yisrael went through all the Avodah Zaros because he went searching for the emes until he was Megayer himself. A Yiddish neshama which is born among the Goyim has no menucha until that neshama is Megayer itself and it comes back to its roots. When it comes back to its roots, it experiences its yovel. It came back to its mishpacha, to where it really belongs, to the shayrish, vayuval yeshalach sharashav. And Malchus Beis David had a wonderful nitzutz, a very heilige nitzutz. And the Satan didn't let that nitzutz. He always came and complained when he saw that the Rebbeinu Shalom wants to send down that nitzutz so that Malchus Beis David, Mashiach Tzidkenu, should come. So therefore, Rus was born among the Goyim. And so that the Satan shouldn't suspect that this is a neshama of Malchus Beis David. If somebody has a gem, he has a diamond, and he wants to hide it, and he knows that Ganava might come and look for it. Where does he hide it? In the garbage can. The Ganif would never get the idea that he has to look for the gem in the garbage can. But it's a very good place where to hide it. Some people hide it under a mattress. The Ganif knows that. They look under the mattress. But he won't look in the garbage can. So the Rebbeinu Shalom took the neshama of Rus and he placed her in the house of Eglain Melech Mayav. And Eglain was the son of Balak, Melech Mayav. Balak sort of suspected that Mashiach would come out of him. And that's why he went to Bilam that he should curse that chaylik. I won't elaborate on this now. Anyway, she was a Yiddish neshama, and not stam a Yiddish neshama, a neshama of Malchus, a neshama of the Kol Chemdas Yisrael. And she found herself among the Goyim. And she had no menucha. She had no peace of mind. She's struggling. She's fighting with herself. No, something's wrong with me. So when Onaimi told Rus, U'mitzana menucha isha beis avia, so she said, I have no menucha, I'm going with you. And she was Megayer herself. So she was Megayer herself. And here, I'll tell you something that the Sfarim say. The Avinachal says it, that Eretz Yisrael is an actual Sefer Torah. And each piece of Eretz Yisrael has a piece of the Sefer Torah. If somebody would take an airplane, I once did, and go up high and look down upon Eretz Yisrael, he's going to see an entire Sefer Torah. If he has good eyes, and he can see the Kedusha of the Sefer Torah written on Eretz Yisrael. I don't have such good eyes, so I believed, but that I'm seeing a whole Sefer Torah. Every piece of Eretz Yisrael is a part of the Sefer Torah. And that's what the Sfarim tell us. So, really, being that every chaylik of the Torah is written someplace in Eretz Yisrael, so there is a certain place in Eretz Yisrael where the Pasha of Yovel is written there. It has to be, because Eretz Yisrael is someplace in the Torah. I mean, the Pasha of Yovel is someplace in Eretz Yisrael. I didn't see this in any Sefer, but Libi Omer Li, that the Pasha of Yovel is written in Beis Lechem Yehuda. That's where the Pasha of Yovel is. And therefore, Yovel is Malchus Beis David. And therefore, Rus, who came back, Hashavim Mizdei Mayav, didn't come back to any other place than Beis Lechem Yehuda. Beis Lechem Yehuda is Rosh Hashanah's Yovel. And when we on the Kabbalah Shabbos, and we speak about Mashiach, we say Al Yad Ben Yishai Beis Halachmi. Yishai that comes from Beis Lechem Yehuda. And she came back to Beis Lechem Yehuda. In Beis Lechem, we have a certain neshama of Yovel interred there. There's a certain, one of our imahis is called the Akeres Habayis. She is the mother of Klal Yisrael, and that's Rachel. Even though Rachel was only the mother of Ephraim and Menashe, but she's the mother of whole Klal Yisrael. She is the Akeres Habayis. The Maral explains that Rachel is considered the mother of Klal Yisrael, and therefore her son Yosef is also considered Klal Yisrael. We have many times in the Torah, in Tanakh that is, that Klal Yisrael is called Yosef. Like it says, Naik Katsan Yosef. Klal Yisrael is called Yosef. So the Gemara says, because Yosef gave Panasa to Klal Yisrael when they came to Mitzrayim. But it goes deeper than that. Yosef is like the Reish of Klal Yisrael. From him comes out Mashiach ben Yosef, who's going to fight with Amalek. And David also, Mashiach ben David. So therefore, Rachel is called the Akeres Habayis, the Maral says. She is the mother of Klal Yisrael. So therefore, Rachel, the Maral says, was buried al Eim Haderech, on the road. So that when Yidden go in Golus, like you remember your Chumash from Parshas Vayechi, when Yidden went to Golus, they came by the cave of Rachel, and Rachel went on and cried, and the Rebbeinu Shalom promised her that Yidden are going to come back. Because she's the mother. She wants them to come back. She's the source. She's the Yovel. And being that she's the Yovel, the Rebbeinu Shalom told her a parsha of Yovel. When she came out and said, Rebbeinu Shalom, my children are going away. They're going away from Eretz Yisrael. They're going away from their achuzah. The Rebbeinu Shalom said, Yidden are going to go back. These four Oisias, Hashem, V'shavu, Banim, L'Gvulam, is Rosh Hashanah's Yovel. Beis Lechem, where Rachel is buried, that's the place of Yovel. That's the place of Malchus. So therefore, she is buried there. And Rus, who was a neshama of Yovel, because she came back to her Sheirish, also came back to Beis Lechem, Yehuda. So, therefore, the klal is that the Zayah says that the Sitra Achra, the Tumah, always likes to mimic the Kedusha. Nachmach. That's a klal. Like a monkey mimics a human being. Whatever a human being does, the monkey will go through the same movements. That's what the Zayah says. Al Kapanim, Yidden have a Mashiach. That Mashiach, the Rambam says, how do we know that when somebody comes and proclaims himself as Mashiach, how do we know that he's a Mashiach Emes, for sure? So the Rambam gives two simanim. One siman is that he'll build the Beis HaMikdash, and the other siman is he'll be Mekabetz Nidchei Yisrael. Who gather together the Nidchei Yisrael. Because gathering together Nidchei Yisrael, I'm saying Pshat in the Rambam, means Yovel. Everybody comes back to the Torah on Shavuos. Everybody comes back to Eretz Yisrael. And Eretz Yisrael is the Torah. The whole Torah is written in Eretz Yisrael. So, the Goyim decide they also want a Mashiach. So they fabricate themselves a Mashiach. That's Yoshka. Now, the Goyim didn't come to my shmooze right now, but the neshama teaches them. You know, they have a mazel that teaches them. They feel that Beis Lechem is a place of Yovel, where Mashiach is born. Yishay Beis Lechemi. So they decide that Yoshka is born in Beis Lechem. And now Beis Lechem is stormingly in the news. That's where the Church of the Nativity is, and because the world is boiling with Mashiach now. So Beis Lechem is the centerpiece of the events of the world today. So the Yashka comes from Beis Lechem. But of course, that's the kaif, that's the monkey. And when the time will come, the Rebishter will take all the tumais from Eretz Yisrael and shake them out together with that Yashka. He might have a ticket after many Yoveles, after 50,000 Yoveles, he says. He's not a Yid. But all the Goyim will be shaken out from Eretz Yisrael. The alive ones from Eretz Yisrael, the dead ones from the graves, like Chazal say, Yenaya Kol Risha Yeretz, the Rebishter will pick up Eretz Yisrael like a sheet and shake it out and shake them all out, and the Yidden will come back to Eretz Yisrael. V'shavu banim l'gvulam. Go back to Beis Lechem, to the place where the Rabbeinu Shalom promised Rachel, the Akeres Abayis, the Neshama of Yovel, that Yidden will come back. V'shavu me'yeretz oyev, v'shavu banim l'gvulam. Anybody, I wonder who here has experienced that. Anybody who was zeiche to be in Eretz Yisrael and go to Keiva Rachel and be mispalo there for the Geula, feels that Rachel is weeping along with him and asking the Rabbeinu Shalom, Kol Brahma Nishman, Ibchis Amrurim, Rachel Mevak al Baneha. Rachel weeps about the children who went into the goddess. Me'en Ali Nachem al Baneha. And you can hear over there, with the moon in your heart, the way the Rabbeinu Shalom consoles Rachel and tells her, Mini Kailech mi Bechi v'yanayach min Dima, Yesh tikva v'yachrisech v'shavu miyum Hashem v'shavu banim l'gvulam. There's a law of return, a law of Yovel. Yidden will come back. V'shavu banim l'gvulam. So this Sedra is a Shmonescha. It has 19 times the word Geula, and the Sedra, which means the Shabbos, because every Shabbos consists of the Sedra. The Sedra is the cloth from which the Shabbos is woven. It's the fabric of the Shabbos. Each Sedra contains the entire Shabbos. This Shabbos is a Shmonescha, and we learn about Yovel. We're introduced to the concept of Yovel in this Sedra, even though we once had it before, but it was in a concealed way. We had it in Pashas Mishpatim, that the Eved Neatza works until Yovel. Rashi says, V'liyalamish al Yovel. That's the Gemara in Kedushin. But it doesn't say the Ferish there. It says, V'avadi Liyolam. And the Rashbam says, V'avadi Liyolam means he should work forever. But Chazal say, because he goes according to Pshat, but Chazal say, no, a Yid can't be lost forever. V'avadi Liyolam. Yovel is going to take him out. The Rashbam is not out to say different than the Gemara, against the halacha. If the halacha is that it never goes out by Yovel, the Rashbam can't say Pshat, V'avadi Liyolam, he should work forever. But the Rashbam is a very, very deep Rashbam. The Rashbam means that the Psak Din is, if he didn't want to take advantage of the Shabbos and go out, he didn't want to go out by Shemitah, by Shviyas, he should work forever, he should get lost. But he can get lost, so the Rabbeinu Shalom says no. Olam means Yovel. Yovel bails him out of his getting lost. And Shavuos is the Yovel. Shavuos is Tshuva. Tshuva means coming back. That's the touch of Tshuva. on Shavuos we come back to the Rabbeinu Shalom, and the Rabbeinu Shalom comes back to us, and it's like a Seis Chassan Al Kala. Every Chassan is like a Yovel, because the Chassan and the Kala who were together and united when they were yet in Adam Arishain, like you say by the Bracha, V'hiskin Lai Mimenu Binyan Adai Ad, every Chassan and every Kala were united by Adam Arishain. So by Chassan, that's the Simcha of the Yovel. They come back to where they belong, Ishal Mishpachtei. So there is a Chassan and a Kala. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is the Chassan, and Knesset Yisrael is the Kala. So on Shavuos is the Chassan. It's Yovel. We come back. And that's why in Shavuos we sing Taya Kala Maid Nasala. The whole Shavuos is like a Chassan and a Kala. We come back to the Rabbeinu Shalom. We were once united, separated, and we're reunited. That's Yovel. So Shavuos is a man that a Yid has to prepare himself in these 6 weeks, and especially in the 2 weeks which are yet left, that we have to repolish all the midas that already should have gone through some type of the process of tikkun, and prepare ourselves with kedusha, with Torah, for Kabbalah Torah, the Tarenu, the Kadashenu, the Kadashasa, like we say, Amen Sela, Agab Shabbos.